have made it my mission to conquer this physical TBR. And you know, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. Hello, my lovely friends, it's Margaret. Today, we are going to be talking about some books that are going to be going away if I don't finish them soon-ish. Every year, I like to do a little bit of like a check-in with myself about what is on my physical TBR, how much of it I've read, blah, 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 blah. I have that video up there. The thing that you need to know from that video is that instead of hovering around like the 110s range like it usually does, we ended with 144 books this year, some of which have been on that TBR or on my shelves for like 2 to 3, like they've been on since I started BookTube. So I went and I looked at some of the ones that have been on there the longest, that have been on there multiple years, and I said, these 8 books, I have 6 months to read. Yes, you heard me right. I am giving myself from May to October to read 8 books. I know that sounds a little bit much, a little bit imbalanced, but I am actually putting my own little twist on this. For every book that I finish from this video, I get to add a month to the amount of time that I have to read these books. So in theory, I can kind of keep pushing the deadline out, but then I'm also being incentivized to keep reading books. So the first one that we're going to start out with is The Bourne Identity by Robert Ludlum. I've seen the movies. I don't remember much about them. I just know it's about a guy who loses his memory and he's running, and it's kind of like a spy thing that's going on. Like he was a former spy or something, and he has no memories of what has happened to him. So it was a popular book. I picked it up for like 10 cents at a library sale, and here we are. It's been on my shelves for 12 years at this point because I got this when I was in college. So the next book that I have on this list is Wool by Hugh Howey. I don't remember much about this except that one of my bosses was like obsessed with it. I think I might have picked it up either at I think I picked this up at a thrift store. Let me see. Oh, yep, they've got it on the inside of the cover. It is, oh, okay. Basically, it's the future of our world. That's what we're talking about. What would you do if the world outside was deadly and the air you breathed could kill you? Yeah, we're gonna be there soon. I have heard different things because I think this was originally released, like I know this was originally self-published and it was released, I think, kind of in a Dickens-esque way where it was like chapters being released, so there may be some issues with like plot and pacing and stuff, but I wanted to check it out because I have heard really good things about it and I do like myself a good dystopian. The next one that I have, I think has been on my shelf since 2012, and that is Wildwood by Colin Meloy and with illustrations by Carson Ellis. This is actually an art that I got from a friend who works at a bookstore, and I don't know what it's about. Did I just look at the cover? The cover looks cool. Yeah, and there are illustrations on the inside, which is always like a fantastic thing for that. He looks very grumpy. Oh, these are nice illustrations too. Like I really like the style. I've tried to read this a couple of times and just never ended up picking it up, so I figured I'd give it a little bit of urgency. It is about Prue McKeel, and apparently her brother is abducted by a murder of crows, and it's happening in Portland. That actually tracks. That sounds reasonable, that there would be a magical wilderness called Wildwood just outside of Portland. So basically, it's just a rescue mission of Prue trying to go after her brother and discovering this impassable wilderness kind of secret world thing that we've got going on here. The next book that we have is Pride and Prejudice by Mandy Hubbard. This one I picked up at a thrift store because I was actually looking at the author as a possible agent. I'm not sure if that is the case based on developments that have happened in my story and what it is going to end up being when I finish this next rewrite, but it is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. Like, do I need to explain further? There are Prada shoes. Are those even Prada shoes, though? This is about a girl who buys Prada pumps in London and then ends up in 1815, and that's going to be really interesting. It's an odd way to... So, like, it's not a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. It's about a girl ending up in Regency England, but also the name, there's got to be some Pride and Prejudice kind of relation at some point. The next one, I'm not even sure how I got, but that's The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I have heard things about Ruth Ware, but I've never actually read a Ruth Ware book. So this one is let's see, this has 0 context on the back. Okay. I am assuming based on the cover that it's some sort of like gothic story. That is. Oh, apparently I also got this one from the thrift store. Okay, so yeah, this sounds like some sort of gothic mystery type thing. It's being compared to like Rebecca, so that tells me a lot about what's going to be happening in here. So I guess I'll be able to tell you more about what it's about later. The next book that we have to talk about is Pride and Prescience by Kari Bebris. You can tell I'm really into like the Pride and Prejudice themed books. This is a Mr. and Mrs. Darcy mystery. So apparently they're interrupted in right before they go on their honeymoon with drama that happens in Caroline Bingley's life. So really, you what you did in Pride and Prejudice wasn't enough. The full title is Pride and Prescience, or A Truth Universally Acknowledged. I like that. I know like this is a whole series, so I will be slightly sad because if I unhaul this, I have to unhaul the second book as well. So I think this is going to be very much like a priority for me. The next one we are going to be talking about is one that I have already tried to read and I couldn't finish it the first time, but I have more time, so maybe I will actually like be able to get into it and get into the plot. But that is Flesh and Fire by Laura Ann Gilman. The things that I remember from this is like just basically wine Jesus. Like that's what I like. It was a very poorly done allegory for Jesus, but with wine. Not Dionysus. Like, I mean, not Dionysus. Like, it was, it is the Vinlands, and there's power in the different, like, specific wines or something like that. It was really weird. I didn't get a chance to really get an idea of what was going on before I had to move on to the next book and what I was doing at the time. Like, I was doing, like, a try a chapter kind of thing, and I was just like, oh, this is weird, and we're definitely not moving on to with this book, so. I figure that one, even if I don't enjoy it, I may get some good content out of. And the final book on this list is Oasis by Katia de Becerra. This is a desert fantasy with people that, like, they go out on an archaeological dig, and then there's a sandstorm. Okay, yep, that's right. And then they end up, like, pulled into a different... Why did I do that? I don't know why I put my hair behind my ear. They end up in a different world. Something like that. And it sounds really interesting. I think this is going to be another one that's like high on my priority list because I just like I really do want to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So we'll put a little bit of pressure on me to get this done. If you're feeling chatty, let me know in the comments. What are some books that have been on your want to read, whether it is a physical or just a digital list? Let me know some of those books. And then if you're not feeling chatty but you want to let me know that you watched to the end of the video, go ahead and leave me like the awkward smile emoji, the one, you know, like, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I will have other videos over here. I'll have that TBR check-in that I did up here, and then whatever is newest on my channel down here for you. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!